Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network on YouTube presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton, and before we get into our great news for the day, please, if you haven't, like and subscribe to Uneducated Network to where you can see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many other shows on our channel. We are more than just a YouTube channel, we are a way of life. That being said, we have some good news today. This Saturday had a lot of good things happening. Let's start off with the main thing on our docket, the NBA games, the Saturday primetime games that just came out, and we had two special games. Let's start off with Oklahoma City at the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Thunder are finally starting to get their mojo back a little bit as the Cavaliers have been struggling. And in this game, both trends continued. Oklahoma City destroyed the Cleveland Cavaliers 148 to 124. Yes, that is not an all-star game. It's a regular game, 148 to 124. And it seemed like the Cavaliers cannot get their stuff together. Now, that is 10 losses in the last 14 games. Ever since they got smashed on Christmas by the Golden State Warriors. Since they lost on Christmas, things have been going downhill for them. It's just been very hard to watch if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. They came into this game, the Cavaliers, as the third worst defense in the NBA. Now, I don't know what kind of championship team they claim to be or want to be, but being that bad on defense, look, your offense can carry you against some of the lower tier teams, but once you get into competition, no matter who it is, either the top 4 or 5 in the East or top 4 or 5 in the West, you are going to get blown out if you play the same defense throughout the whole entire season. They came with the third worst ranked defense, basically in the year, and it showed, particularly today, giving up 148 points. Russell Westbrook had his way. He caught rebounds, and he was just kind of just zooming through the lane. One thing about the Cavaliers defense, their transition defense is horrible, and it's been like that all year. They're not a fast team. They like to slow things down. When they get the ball, they go in transition if LeBron James has the ball. Outside LeBron, this team, look, I said it in the beginning. We've seen Cleveland, or a LeBron James-led team. Somewhere they're going to have a struggle at some point in the season. But unlike this year, you always knew that eventually they're going to turn it around. And when they turn it around, watch out. This year, totally different. I came in when I saw the lineup they had, and you added Dwayne Wade. You got Isaiah Thomas, who's going to be hurt for a while. Now, granted, this is Isaiah Thomas. It's only his 7th game back, so there's still time to improve. But Isaiah Thomas is a liability on defense, no matter where he was, whether it was Boston, Sacramento, and now the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's going to be a liability on defense. It's not his fault. He's 5'9". He's basically an inch taller than me, pretty much, in the NBA. Great offensively. He can do some damage, and he's done that. But on defense, he has been very poor. And it's not. I don't want to single him out, but as the Cavaliers, as a team, because Isaiah's only played in 7 games, so there's been almost 40 plus games without Isaiah Thomas, and the Cavaliers look very bad on defense. So that being said, it's going to be tough for the Cavaliers this year to get over that hump. Yes, they'll make the playoffs. Yes, they'll be a top 3 seed. But if we're talking about what we want the Cavaliers to be at, championship level, they might not this year. They might not make it out the East. LeBron has been to the finals 8 years in a row. He might not make it to 9 because things look a little differently now. You saw Toronto earlier a couple weeks ago destroy the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we've seen Boston do the same thing. We've seen Cleveland just get murked up day after day. In the streak, they had they combined to win by 5 points against, I believe, the Magic and the Bulls. It's like 2 of their little 4 wins they've had in the last 3 weeks. It feels like this team is struggling. LeBron came out and said it's probably been the most frustrating year he's had so far. But we don't want to hear that, LeBron. I don't want to hear that for sure. You put yourself in a situation, you had a Kyrie Irving, and you saw what difference Kyrie made. Shout out to LeBron James. His next game against the San Antonio Spurs, he will break the 30,000 point mark. He'll be the youngest player to do that. But he had just 41 points to beat it basically 3 games ago. And you figured he would have beat it in 2 games, max for sure. It did not happen. LeBron has been sort of struggling himself, turnover-wise as well. Maybe he's putting too much on the shoulder, which he has to. This is the year where LeBron needs to be, that guy that scores an average of 35 a game, in my opinion. If LeBron averages 35 a game with the 10 rebounds and 7 assists, he'll do some damage, but you can't be averaging 27, 28 with this squad that you got. Everyone's just getting a little older. LeBron himself getting older now. He's 33. So with that, when the age comes up, every year you can't just expect your physical abilities to get you through a bad hump. This has been probably one of the worst stretches LeBron has had in a long time. And it's not going to get any better. I can guarantee you that right now, because this Cavaliers team, they don't look good. Can you imagine this team playing in the Western Conference? Like, they will get destroyed. They'll probably be a 9th seed or 8th seed, maybe lower, maybe 6. But still, they just they're lucky. There's 30 teams in the NBA, or 29, something like that. They're lucky that most of them are garbage. So you're going to play against garbage teams a lot, and that's understandable. But once you get into the playoffs where there's competition, this Cavaliers team is very vulnerable. I don't like it, and they have no rim protector as well. When Kevin Love is your center, and we knew all this from the beginning of the year, it's not looking good, and we all saw it wasn't looking good. It was a good sign to see Derrick Rose back with the team, and he did get some playing time in this game. Obviously, giving up 148 points, no overtime, not an all-star game. Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo are kind of starting to get their groove back a little bit now. Maybe you can make some noise in this Western Conference, but is it that OKC is that bad, or is the Cavaliers that, is OKC that good, or the Cavaliers that bad? I think OKC is just that good. The Cavaliers, you got to think eventually they can kind of get a little bit of mojo going on, but the way they're playing right now, I don't see it happening anytime. This team is just getting older. Wade's getting older. J.R. Smith's older. Melo's older. Kevin Love's older. And Kevin Love made the All-Star team. That's a whole different conversation, though. But my thing is, look, things are going to get chippy for the Cavaliers, and they got to find the way, because Toronto's getting better. Toronto's still, right behind Boston for their 1 and 2 seed. Right now, the Cavs are the 3rd seed, but they're going to go trending down. A lot of teams are kind of trending up, so they have to be very careful what they do. The next game on the docket, Golden State at Houston. H-Town, got the Rockets hat on right now. I do go to a couple Rockets games every now and then. But they come in as two of the hottest teams in the Western Conference, or two of the best teams. We know what Golden State's all about. 14-game road winning streak is on the line, but their toughest competition in the West might be the Houston Rockets. Now that we have CP3 and James Harden both in the lineup at the same time. Well, what happened was the Houston Rockets won 116 to 108 in a great game. If you like offense and you like just playmaking from both squads, you love this game. The Rockets came out hot, scored 40 points in the first quarter. They were up, I believe, 40 to 28 in the first quarter, and you knew that the Warriors were going to make a run. They're the Warriors. They're the Warriors. They always make a run. They never get blown out. You got to just keep putting up points. And then the Rockets are a team that's going to keep putting up points. Chris Paul, hell of a game. 33 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. To go along with James Harden's 22. James Harden was on fire the first couple minutes of the first quarter. Then he cooled off. But he did hit a big three with about a minute and some change to go against the Warriors to have a 3-point lead turn to a 6-point lead. And that was kind of a dagger, if you can say that. But with minutes of change, you got to score a lot more against this Warriors team, especially if you're playing against them in a 7-game series. But Kevin Durant, 26 points. Draymond Green stepped up, had 21 points. So he did a great job for them as well. Golden State was down by as many as 17 points and came back and made it a game. Even took the lead pretty much late into the fourth quarter. And it was a back-and-forth affair throughout. But at the end, the Rockets made more plays toward the end. And, give Rockets credit, because you could have easily said that the Warriors could have came back and won this game. And it was looking like that. And you thought in your mind, once the Warriors did the lead, it was over with. But the Rockets' resilience, their 3-point making is just unbelievable, as well as the Golden State Warriors. The Rockets pretty much had the sort of best chance this year, with Kawhi Leonard still on the shelves, being hurt on and off this year. The Rockets have the best chance. Maybe the Thunder as well have the best chance of beating the Golden State Warriors in like a 7-game series. But I mean, you've got to have nights like this every single time. And in the playoffs, things get a little tighter. That's my only problem for Rockets. They look so good every year hitting all those threes in the regular season. But then once you get into playoff time where things count, where things are a lot more grittier, where things get tougher, every possession is key. Every possession is key. That's when the Rockets saw last year and the year before that how they stumbled toward the end of games in clutch situations. And then when you got to stop somebody, you can't count on the three every single year. Golden State has probably been the first team in a long time we could think of that's won the NBA championship by being a three-point shooting team. They're probably the only team, to be honest. Maybe the Cavaliers 2 years ago as well. But I don't know. I mean, this Rockets team, CP3 brings a little bit of grit to him, which is cool, and he brings a little bit of when Harden has to rest. But my thing is, Chris Paul has had his issues in the playoffs as well. So we'll find out when they get to the playoffs. They can do it with all they want in the regular season, break all kind of records, break all kind of scoring records, hit this many threes, shoot that many threes. It doesn't matter when you get into the playoffs. And then we're talking about into the deep rounds. We want to see what you're about. And that's what it's all about with them. So the Saturday showcase games, they brought it out. Four great teams, 2 heavyweight games we had. The first one was lopsided, obviously the Cavaliers getting blown out. The second one was just what we wanted, with the Golden State Warriors losing to the Rockets 108-116. And they snapped Golden State's 14-game road winning streak, which is amazing. I mean, last time they lost was against the Thunder 14 road games ago, right? So what a great way for the Rockets to beat the Golden State Warriors. And let's talk about some more news. Let's talk about NFL. We had a big coaching change today. Mike Mularkey for the Tennessee Titans, he was basically fired a couple of days ago. They did not know where they're going with their future. He had something different. General manager was something different as well. They collided. They decided as a group to fire Mike Mularkey. Well, you got to bring somebody in now. And Mike Vrabel, the defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, the ex-New England Patriots / Steeler, he is now the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel. And what I like about that is he's a defensive guy. So we get that defense going on. You probably, I don't know what you do with Dick LeBeau or not. Do you keep Dick LeBeau or not? We'll find out later on. But he just got there. But I figured Mike Mularkey was good to stay because yes, they went 9-7 and made the playoffs, and it was still they kind of limped their way to the playoffs, but they still made the playoffs with a bad squad. Now you kind of re-energize yourself and maybe you can get something going. But I guess future, what they saw in the future, they had disagreements on. Mike Vrabel comes in, who's a freaking good coach. He's a very good coach. Just unfortunately this year had a lot of injuries on defense for the Houston fans. If you're a Houston Texans fan, had a lot of issues on defense. J.J. Watt's being out, Whitney Merciless being out. Your 2 main guys being out like that, it kind of messes your defense up from top to from the defensive line to the secondary. It messed them up all around. So a new fresh start as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. He is going to welcome that challenge. I know he is. And look, Tennessee has a good squad, decent defense. Once they get things together, they're still young on that side, but great O-line. If Marcus Mariota can come out of that slump he's had this year, Tennessee's going to be a really good team to look out for. So watch out for the guys. When they get their weapons together, Corey Davis, of course we know about Delaney Walker. If they can get those guys together all on one page, and you got something going on. If you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you like what you see. So Mike Vrabel is a good choice. I would have probably went somewhere else, but Mike Vrabel is still a decent choice. I like that. And maybe the biggest news that topped all of this today, the news of high school basketball / college basketball. Zion Williamson, the phenom dunker all across the nation from South Carolina. He had his commitment day, who he was going to. He had choices of, he had North Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina, Kentucky. You all figure one of those guys are going to get him. He's from South Carolina, so South Carolina and Clemson both had a chance. Clemson had the best chance in everyone else's mind. Oh, but boy, were we fooled. Mike Krzyzewski and the Dookie Blue Devils come on in, and they steal Zion Williamson from everyone's nose. It wasn't even considered Duke to be an option. Now, there's rumors going around that they've seen Zion Williamson in a Duke uniform or something like that. I'm not sure. But he is going to be a Duke Blue Devil, and this is crazy. That is big news because not only did Mike Krzyzewski get the #1 overall prospect this year, and the number 3 overall prospect. Now he's number 2 in Zion Williamson. About Zion Williamson, he's 6'6", 275. He plays he's like a tight end. But my thing is, we've seen all his dunks, and it's all we see is dunks. That's all we see. Can I see something else from the brother? I haven't seen this man shoot a single jumper yet. In the 4 years I've been watching him on YouTube and stuff, I haven't seen him take a single jumper. I haven't seen him do a layup. Can he make a free throw? I don't even know. So it's going to be very curious to see how he plays. Now, I heard he has great ball handling skills, and I heard he's very quick-footed, whatever that means. So I'm very interested to see this Duke Blue Devils team. It was funny because 5 years ago, Mike Krzyzewski was like, I'm not doing that one and done bull crap, and I'll leave that to Coach Calipari. He'll do that. But then he realized what kind of success Calipari was getting and what success he wasn't getting. So over the last 3 or 4 years now, Mike Krzyzewski has been doing the one and done train, especially that 2014 squad where Jaleel Okafor and James not Winston, whatever the guy is name he plays for the Heat. Forgot his name already. But he had that squad, and they were all one and dones. And he was like, you know what? I kind of like it. It brought me a championship. So he's got a lot of guys getting rid of now for this year, and he's gonna plug in these kids, the top 3 prospects. There's no way in heck he should not win this championship. With that, I mean, it's kind of like even Kentucky with their way of doing things. They never got the top 3 prospects. So Duke is now the guy, the brand to go to if you're a top prospect. So it's very interesting to see what goes on with this squad right here with adding Zion Williamson. Like I said, 6'6". I don't know if he played a small forward or power forward. It depends on. I think he'll be small forward, but he's kind of not quick enough to guard threes. We'll find out all that. I haven't really seen him, and I haven't seen him take a jumper. Even when they had the Facebook thing with him against the Ball brothers, or against the Melo Ball, I didn't really watch it. I watched the end. I caught it towards the end, and I saw he had a dunk or 3 or 5. But outside of that, I don't know what he can do. But I'm very interested in seeing. I'm very excited to see this Duke Blue Devils team for next year. All this talk about Zion Williamson and him being from South Carolina, you just figured it was Clemson or South Carolina, maybe Kentucky. But Duke comes out of the old hat and say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and get your boy, and that's gonna be a tough team to beat. I can't stand Duke. But that's for a different day. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the show. That's all I got for you guys. A little NBA talk, football talk, and a little college basketball talk. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to Uneducated Network, to where you can see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many other shows on our channel. We are more than just a YouTube channel. We are a way of life. Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Clayton. As always, sports fans, you know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.